Hi everyone. Now we're going to have a look at a new reporting system that put into place effective today, the 6th of December 2016. So follow-ups are obviously an integral and very, very important part to any sales force and sales business. It's something that we do already do, but it hasn't been recorded well. It's been a bit messy. We have the quoting Magento system, which we've been keeping. Some people keep notes on, but as you edit the quote, you lose that information or previous information. So you have to keep that information separately on a Word document or using Notepad or something of the like. Other people use the notes on the invoice itself or the quote itself up on the top right, and that is another way that we do things. But it's all a bit haphazard. There's no consistency, much like with the previous daily reporting, and so this, I believe, is a better way for everyone to keep track of their follow-ups. So let's have a look. Let's use Jason as an example this time. So in a similar way with the daily reports, under the reports folder, everybody's got their own folder and everybody has their own file. Now, unlike daily reporting, assuming you've already had a look at that, daily and weekly reporting, you'll be creating a new file. Not in this instance. In this instance, this is a file that would just be the one Google Sheet. So open up our Google Sheet and it will open up in Chrome. Or it should open up in Chrome. If not, download it. Okay, and let's have a look. So this is very, very straightforward. Okay, my recommendation is to keep this open throughout the day. No doubt you'll be following up throughout the day. You may have this open. You may have your daily reporting open in another tab. It's up to you how you do things, of course. Now, let's have a look at it. So what we're going to be doing is with each follow-up, each individual person, you're going to record the follow-up. And this is really good. In my opinion, this is very good for your records, our records. And I'll show you how we can filter this so you have a running record. What this is also going to do is eliminate other types of following up. So let me explain that. With Magento, by all means, add the original notes, such as "thanks for coming in," and we're currently running a sale on these particular items or this particular thing. We have this many left. That is where I want it to finish with Magento. All right, so nothing saying contacted the customer 5th of the 11th or whatever and did and made this progress or changed this. None of that. Don't want any of that on Magento. So Magento is simply for the initial information, really, and that's its purpose. Its purpose is for the quote and only the quote. Okay. In terms of invoice notes, all right. So let's have a quick look at an invoice. All right, I'm going to just jump over here to a new one in Lane Cove real quick. All right. Taking a little bit longer than expected. Okay, here we are. Okay, so as most of you would be aware, but there is a note section on the top right of our invoices, which some people use more than others. So, and there is a specific purpose only I want this used for going forward. I only want this note area used for notes specific to the invoice. So what I mean by that, if you wish to make notes, date and notes about changes to the invoice, absolutely fine. You want to talk about you basically want to talk about any issues with deliveries, delays on deliveries, contact with the customer, with those sorts of things that are pertinent to the invoice, no problem. Okay, so anything returns, requests, service issues, general issues, anything on there that's relevant to the invoice, relevant to the customer, excellent. Please put it there. It's really great to have a record of it, especially for any future issues, but not for follow-ups. Okay, the follow-ups are one area and one area only, and that is going to be on these sheets. So when you're doing your follow-ups for the day, this is your sheet. Well, let's have a look at it. It's pretty straightforward as well. Okay, so let's say today is the follow-up date. We use today as the example, the starting day. So that's very easy, isn't it? Follow-up date, number one. Number two, Magento quote or quote number. Okay, so that can be the Magento quote number. All right, so it's a live Magento, or it can be a project quote number from our simple spreadsheet Excels, or it can be just a simple spreadsheet Excel quote, not necessarily a project quote. Sometimes we do, for large quotes, sometimes we do them on Excel as well, don't we? So that is absolutely vital that you get that information, that number correct, because you'll be able to filter this column to that number, to the particular quote number or project. I'll show you that just at the end. Salesperson, well, that'll normally be one individual. We're using Jason, aren't we? The quote date. So the quote date is the date that we quoted or last quoted. So quotes change. So the initial date might have been the 23rd. There might have been a change later, and you might talk about the same quote, the quote number, a bit further down the track, and there may be an adjustment, and maybe the last quote date was the 5th of the 12th, for example. Okay, but the last quote date is what we're interested in there. All right, but the quote number being the same. Oops, I had a bit of a freeze. Okay, client response. Okay, we don't need the date there, so ignore that. That's not important. We've already got the date. But what we do need there obviously is the information. Okay, and as you know, that could be anything. Try to fit it within that. Obviously, the one line. If you can't, drop down another. Increase the cell size if you want. None of that's awfully important. But yeah, really, it's just more to say that you've obviously followed up on what the response was, what you actioned from that response. Hopefully, a sale, but anything that you actioned in particular to the response, added, deleted, made a time for another follow-up, made a time for an appointment, anything of that nature. Sales value converted, again, hopefully. Hopefully we get converted a $5,000 perhaps. And then your reason for not buying. So look, this is great if we can get this, if it is a denial, if the client response is non-purchase. Keep it brief, don't need a long description, and maybe into the future I may add coding for that, so we can really measure that. But at the moment, just basically reason for not buying, too expensive, bought elsewhere, that kind of thing, and I will be able to filter those responses. So let's go back to here and have a look at the filtering I talked about. So let's say we have those two quotes, and let's say then on the same day, there was another quote of 500, 16 something or other, doesn't matter. Okay, so but I'm interested in this customer here. Maybe I've followed them up 3 or 4 times, and I just want to have a look at their information. What's going to be funny about it, isn't it? It's okay. So let's say I just want to have a look at their information. So these have all been filtered. Never mind that formatting, I'll fix that. Let's have a look. So basically, these little arrows up here, they're filtered columns, okay? And I click down and I can filter by the number. So I can just clear all that and I can click on just the one I want, particular quote number, and it's just going to bring me up all those responses from that individual. There's all my history, all in one place. So unlike Magento, where we don't have any consistency, there's really no history, or the invoices where there's a limit, you can put limited history. This has unlimited history capability. It's all online, it's all saved, and it's all referable. Select all to get everything back. All right, so I'll just remove all this. Okay, so that's it. So it's a daily follow-up sheet. It's for everybody's, obviously each individual's use. It's for company record, and I think it's really very, very useful, and a much more streamlined way to do things. As usual, any questions, please ask. Anything else about it, any ideas about it, also please tell me. Thank you.